So Patois basically is like the spoken tongue of Jamaica, of the Jamaican people. It's like what our language is. And to me, like why I chose that name is because what I want to do is kind of speak to people, present my food in a way that it is speaking to people, like that I'm giving you my culture. So it kind of made sense in my head. And I created Patois basically as a way to challenge myself to cook more Jamaican food because I've been cooking quite a lot of Asian inspired food or like European with Asian twists because I worked in a lot of Asian kitchens. So I worked in a Taiwanese kitchen and a Japanese kitchen, and I basically translated that into the food I create. But with this, I kind of focus more on modern Jamaican cooking and traditional Jamaican cooking basically in one. So the menu might have things that are quite traditional or things that are quite modern. And then I want to take that and create a physical space. So I wanted to eventually grow into a restaurant. And I think I'm a big believer in manifestation, and this is like the beginning of where it will lead to. So yeah. Traveling around and cooking different places is super exciting. And it's not just exciting for myself, but it's also exciting for the place that's hosting the chef and also the diners that come to eat because it's something new and something different. This week I learned that most Koreans never had Jamaican food. So that's super special to come here and be able to cook a cuisine that Korean people have never had. And that's what happens when I go to a lot of places, especially in Europe. So there's not like a lot of places that you can go in Europe and get Jamaican food. And I think that's why my style of cooking has resonated quite well with all the places I've been over the world because people are getting something that isn't available to them. So for me, it's super exciting to go to a new place. I don't think I would have been to Seoul maybe ever in my life. I don't know if I didn't come for this reason. So it is super special, and I know that now coming here that I'm going to be back because I've loved it so much. So it's just the bonds and the connections you meet doing this. It's like it's super special. So. We did a fried chicken dish. It was like very Jamaican marinade, and I used Korean chilies in there, but I also used gochujang in the barbecue sauce. I mean, I actually use gochujang quite a bit at home, so I love gochujang. And I used like the non-spicy chili that we put on oxtail croquette. So we made like this oxtail mixture, and we deep fried it, and then we added the pickled Korean chili on top. Super nice. For me, like I'm always really grateful after a pop-up. This specific pop-up, I'm super grateful because for me as a Jamaican person, a Jamaican kid, to be here in Seoul cooking my country's food, that is, I can't even put into words how grateful I am for the opportunity to do it. And the hospitality here has been like next to none. I don't even know how I can like repay the hospitality that I've been shown here. Everybody is just super lovely, and I'm sure that we are going to be friends forever. I'm sure I'm coming back to Seoul. So the first brand I would say is it's called Grace. It's like a Jamaican food company, and they supply like food for a lot of the Caribbean islands, but also you can find their products pretty much most of the world, and a lot of their products, like their seasonings and their sauces or hot sauces, I try to like replicate with the ingredients I can find. So that's like the first one, especially because it's like something I grew up with, always have it in my household, like Grace products. Second one I would say is Apple, because I literally have every Apple product. I have Apple Watch, Apple headphones, Apple phone, and I do a lot of things off my Apple devices. I always have my Apple Watch in the kitchen because it's like my most important thing is like checking the time, especially when like I'm running the pass and I have tickets. I always like checking my watch. So yeah, Apple is another big one for me. I have this skincare product which for my face after work. It's called Lumen. I've been using it for like 2 years, and it's a subscription based. So I get like my charcoal cleanser and my I'm like my mask for my face, and skincare is like a really big thing for me, really important because after you work the whole day in the kitchen, my face like always feels really like heavy and oily. So I always like wind down by like washing my face. And their branding and packaging is really nice and clean. It kind of reminds me of like how Apple does their packaging, and yeah. The next brand is Gucci for me because I worked at Gucci, but also I own like quite a bit of Gucci stuff. I actually did this whole pop-up in Gucci shoes, and people always call me crazy because I wear them like it's just normal. Like they're not expensive. Which for me is like if you buy something, you need to wear it, and I love the brand values and I love the history. I'm like a big believer in history when it comes to branding. And the last one, I'm gonna go with Adidas because I also wear Adidas quite a bit. It's like just simplicity and also like comfort. So I've been wearing Adidas shorts everywhere, and it's just I always feel like comfortable and cozy in it. I think if I look in my closet, that's probably the most of what I have. I think between all five of them is just consistency in quality. I don't think I've ever like gotten a product that I wasn't satisfied like from any of those brands. I've always like it's always the same. I think it would be that no one's tried my food, so I could kind of just cook whatever I want. Maybe try something I haven't tried before, or do a menu item that I really love before, and also that the people that you're meeting on these pop-ups, because you're meeting people that you don't know where they work in the industry or what they do, but then you connect and you start talking to them, and this person knows this person and this person can connect you with this person. I've already like booked 2 more pop-ups after just being here. But also growing your friendship circle. I think now like when I come back to Seoul, I have friends that I can hang out with and show me around. And when I go to Berlin, I have friends that can hang out with and show me around. And when I go to Paris, it's the same thing. All these places that you go, you have a little community. I didn't even know that Seoul loved techno, how much I love techno. And you would never know that if you don't get the opportunity to do these things in a pop-up. The most special thing about being a guest chef or a pop-up chef is just the people that you meet and where your life will go to next. You never know what you're walking into. You don't know what kitchen utensils you have. When you go away, everything is different than your kitchen. And I think after like the first 3 pop-ups, I was like, well, I can't like make a new menu every single time. So even if I cook something I made last year or something I currently have on a menu at home, it doesn't matter if I do it here. I just need to do things that are quite it's all about flavor. As long as it tastes good for me, I'm sure people are going to enjoy it. Just know that there's going to be like constraints when you're working. Either, that maybe you won't be able to use the kitchen at certain times, or you're not going to be able to use certain devices that you have back home. So you need to make like a smart menu that is easy enough to execute and also like with enough time to execute it. So not making the menu too big is another one, like being conscious in how many items you put on the menu and how much work goes into each dish. And the thing is like now I'm very comfortable with how quickly I can get things done and how I can instruct the team. In the early days, I was maybe much more shy with the new people I was working with, so it was a little harder to lead them. Now I'm really confident in my leadership skills and how to direct people and knowing how to like move quicker when I need to. That's a good question because I do like a variety of things, but I would say my favorite ingredient is chili in any form, like dried or fresh. I tried some Korean chilies this week for the first time, so that's another chili that now I'm gonna try to find to work with. And in Jamaican cuisine, we have chili in almost every dish, so it's kind of like Korean cuisine. You like everything I've eaten here is spicy, so it's really nice. And I love to use it in many different ways. I ferment them, I dry them out, I make powders, I make salts out of chilies. So I think that like almost every dish I cook has some kind of chili in it. I think the my biggest source of inspiration throughout my entire life has just been the people around me. So starting from like my grandmother, I spent a lot of time with her. So being around her, watching how she cooks in the kitchen, but also like how she brought the family together was really special. And now in my later life, it's yeah the friends that I'm meeting when I do these kind of stuff. Definitely like the chefs that I meet, teaching me something new, or being on Instagram and seeing how my peers do stuff. The young chefs are really like giving. If somebody asks me for a recipe, I always give it, you know, and vice versa. I think a lot of chefs are very much in a space of sharing. They're just a fun way to connect and also to learn from your peers. And these are all things that you soak in and you can take back with you in your own life. So. I just think that cooking is a great career. It's hard, but it's really rewarding. Restaurant is a special place. There's like the sounds, the smells, like it all it tingles all your five senses, you know, and it really teaches you how to multitask and how to time manage. And I think those are really important skills. I might not be the smartest person, but I am like really good with micro task and really good at multitasking, and I can do like five different things at once, and a lot of people can't do that. So become a chef, you can do that. But also like you just cooking is an art. It's a beautiful skill to have. Feeding people, the way people receive food and how appreciative they are after they eat your meal, that is you know, it gives you butterflies sometimes.